Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show today here on Sirius Tejano. Hey, this is Joe. Right now, let's kick off the show with some requested music. Los Buena Suerte Corazón by Los Arcos Hermanos Peña here on Sirius Tejano.
Buena suerte, corazón, hoy si no te vuelvo a ver. Yo me quedo sin tu amor, fue muy pobre mi querer. Por si no te vuelvo a ver, te dedico esta canción. Ven y goza de mi amor, mientras sufro esta pasión. Yo me quedo con mi pena y el dolor de tu traición. Otra vez volví a perder. Buena suerte, corazón. Nunca vayas a llorar cuando te toque perder. Nunca olvides un refrán, pagaré corresponde. Si te invitan a tomar, todo es dulce y sabía miel. Cuando tengo que pagar, hasta el dulce sabía bien. Yo me quedo con mi pena y el dolor de tu traición. Otra vez volví a pedir buena suerte, corazón.
That was some requested music. Los Arcos Hermanos Peña, Buena Suerte Corazón, all the way from Amarillo, Dimmitt, Plano, Dallas, Amarillo. Thank you for tuning in. Muchas gracias for your request on here, Sirius Tejano. Now, today we have a special guest by the name of Mr. Domingo Elias 30. He's actually standing by right now. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Let's bring Mr. Domingo in, have him introduce himself to us, and let's get the interview started. Hey, Mr. Domingo Elias 30. How are you, sir?
How's everybody doing? How you doing, Joe?
Good,
Mucho,
good, good.
mucho gusto.
Mucho igualmente. Muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros en Sirius Tejano.
No, sir. Thank you for the time and the espacio que into Sirius Tejano radio show, and I'm excited. I'm happy, man, to be here. Thank you.
So it's un placer tenerlo aquí. Um, one of the things is one of the questions that I wanted to ask right in a few minutes here, Elias, is your music. Uh, but first, I want the crowd or the our guest introduce yourself to the guest. Let them know who Domingo Elias 30 is and a little bit of your background regarding yourself.
Sure. So look, I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, the 956. De aquí del Valle, born and raised. I was born in McAllen, grew up in Mission, and believe it or not, pues ¿qué te puedo decir? I mean, I grew up here in the valley, and let's go back to when I was young. We were migrant workers. We used to go up north as worked in the cotton fields. Graduated from high school here in Mission, Texas. As soon as I graduated, a year or so later, I joined the Marine Corps. Um, and in the Marine Corps, I did 4 years and 9 months enlisted in the Marine Corps and was honorably discharged. So um, también, as soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, Joe, I went back as a government contractor, por decir, and I worked in Iraq and Afghanistan during the height of the like the war on both places. And our job was to protect diplomats for the U.S. government, right? So we were, in essence, the bodyguards for the diplomats, and we would move them around in armored Suburbans and all over throughout the countries, in both in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I mean, that's a pretty quick, literally uh, background as far as me. And then lo de la música, pues I've been writing songs. No es que nunca me atreví a ir al studio to actually record my songs till this year, este año apenas, y pues me está yendo muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Qué bueno, qué bueno. First and foremost, Elias, uh, thank you for your service and for our country, and which allows us, people like myself, to be able to do our shows for the sacrifices and your work that you've done and your time being on the military and serving our nation for us to be able to do our show. So thank you so much for your services and everything that you've done for this country of ours. Thank you so much.
No, sir, thank you. And, I would say a lot of us or most of us volunteer, and we did it proudly, and I'll do it again. So thank you.
Now, Elias, going into your music, um, your inspiration, I believe, was your dad, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say that's correct. But mi papá, my father, he was not a singer per se. He was a composer de música, pero pues mi papá escribiendo sus canciones when we were when I was young, right? I might have not known at that time that it was getting ingrained in my head and in my heart, right? Like the passion for it. Porque cuando uno está chiquito, joven, no entiende mucho esas cosas, right? We don't comprehend them. But as I started growing, I realized that the music tejana, conjunto lo norteño, was something that I always veered to or geared to. And so I started writing my own songs también, and that's really how it kind of grew in me. Lo de la música, a mí me gusta el sonido del acordeón. I did a lot of karaoke throughout the years because I love the music so much. You know what I mean? Um, y sí, esto se lo agradezco. Me lo dejó mi papá. I think he left that all in me. Yes, sir.
So now that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, Leah. So you do a little bit of conjunto, a little bit norteño, tejano. Any other mix of music that you also make?
No, mira, so I never really like to put labels, and eso de la música, we need to kind of try to figure out the genre of the music, right? So my music, I would say it's all fused in all those three that you just mentioned, which is norteño, Tejano. I say I'm in the middle, like conjunto. Maybe not that soft of Tejano. Maybe veers more to the norteño sound, but I got a couple songs coming también in el, early next year that I worked really hard on, and it really has that good Tejano vibe and style where you can actually distinguish. Oh, esto sí es Tejano, está bien Tejano. Y también, pues, I got another song coming with him that's got that more of the norteño sound, which you were listening to Algo Las Paredes, but that's a song que viene el año que entra.
Understood. So Domingo, how Elias, how's 2024 treated you so far as your starting of your music career or your music in Tejano, Conjunto, Norteño? How's it been in 2024 for you?
So I've been blessed in that aspect. I'll tell you a story. Look, I wrote a song. The first single, se llama Nada es Igual, the first one that I released. And I was able to meet this gentleman named Cornelio Damian Reina. He's a grandson de Cornelio Reina. He's from here, from the valley. And he's got his own band y todo. And when we met, I started talking to him and like, hey, I wrote this song. I would like for you to hear it and maybe for you guys to sing it, like for you guys to do it. And I became not my friend, but a good acquaintance where we had good communication. And he heard it and he said, you'll record it. But then with time, me dijo, pues tú la escribiste, you wrote it for your father. You don't sound, Brad. Go to the studio, you sing it. So he was the one that first pushed me to get it done in the studio. And after that, plus I mean, people have been very positive with what they've told me as far as my voice, my vocals, and plus as long as they're okay with me singing, the people, I'm gonna continue to sing, and it's given me a lot of confidence with what I'm trying to accomplish con la música.
Pues, todo eso se mira que te está yendo muy bien, Elias. Felicidades en eso. Now, una
Eso.
pregunta más de tu música. La música que has escrito, ¿qué tiene la historia detrás de la música que escribes? Comenzando con esta que estamos oyendo, Nada es igual.
So look, like La de Nada es Igual, I wrote that song in 2010 when my dad passed away, Joe. And I'm gonna get to answering your question. So like La canción Nada es Igual, when my dad passed, it was not unexpected passing. It was an unexpected thing that happened. We weren't expecting for him to pass, so it really hurt me a lot, right? Um, and during the services, I think we had him 2 days at the funeral home for showing, and then we buried my father. But on one of those days, from the services, when we came home to rest a little bit, I couldn't sleep, man. And I sat down writing these lyrics to this song, and it's taken me that long for me to actually record it. But the question, de dónde vienen the stories of the songs, was most of the songs that I've written either have something personal to me, or it's a real life experience, or somebody I know close to me. Um, pero las escribo del corazón, and I try to tell a story with my lyrics, real or not, pero que sea una buena canción con buena letra, ¿verdad? No, I don't know. I just try to put some passion into it with what I'm trying to write.
Here's a little greetings from Jaime Aguilar.
Saluditos a Jaime, a good friend of mine. By the way, I think some of his relatives son de los Delta Boys.
God,
De, de mi compadre Jaime. I think he said his primo, yes, de los Delta Boys.
ándale.
Saludos.
So now is looking at 2025. How is 2025 looking already for you?
Well, look, man, 2025 hasn't started. I'm trying to finish the year bien, pero we are. I'm excited porque this new year, not January, but in February, I'll have my first concert where I'm the main act as a solo artist, right? We're I guess the main attraction, if you will, if you want to say it that way. So it's a little nerve wracking. It's a little stressful in a way, but in a good way, not in a bad way. and it's a lot of excitement because the first one where we're gonna be the show, if you will, and it's February 21st here in McAllen for your listeners. It's gonna be the Friday after Valentine's, and it's so we're excited. That's the first one we got. That's the and then the rest of the agenda is open. It's since I'm just starting, Joe. I'm learning the ropes as to booking agents, your manager, your everything's slowly coming together. But at least I'm not where I was when I started 7 months
Right.
ago. So
Okay, wow. So my understanding is, have you signed, or are you under Stecca Records? Is that correct?
well, I'm not under Azteca Records per se. Lupito's helping me a lot on the promotion side of the house. Saludos a Mr. Lupito Rosales there in San Antonio. That gentleman has been very helpful and 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 helping me right and learning the ropes and going along the way. I mean, the end goal is to get signed by a record label. Si Dios quiere será Azteca, si no, no hay problema. Pero el trabajo, Lupito's doing a great job, and he's the one helping me push my music. And not only that, he believes in my music, right? No nomás, I don't think he would just take any client, just to take any client or any artist. Um, y como te digo yo, de la música, cuando ya empecé yo, everything, I would say over 99% of the comments and feedback I get has been positive, que the songs are good. Um, and it's up, as the people are enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing it.
¿Qué te iba a preguntar? Now, you mentioned in 2025 you're starting your first show. You're pretty much headlining the show. Now, you mentioned you have a new song coming out in 2025, Las Paredes. Tell us a little bit about that song before it even gets released.
So look, I haven't told anybody yet. I have actually 3 songs on hold to be released. 2 of them have that good Tejano style all the way through. Hi. So two of the songs have a real good Tejano sound to it, and then Las Paredes has more of that conjunto norteño sound. So what we're doing is, and this is from my distribution team, they want me to release the 3 songs together, and we're gonna add the 4 singles that I already have out and have an EP out.
There you
Instead
go.
of doing them single by single, we're gonna amass all my work in my first EP, so we can give the audience more of a choosing and more material or content. So I'm excited because van a ser 3 canciones nuevas que van a salir sometime mid-January, and we're gonna add the 4 singles that I have out since May and make an EP. So les voy a dar 3 canciones nuevas de un fregazo, all in one.
Todo de un golpe.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes, let me introduce you to Dina Madrid. She's our latest our addition to Serious Tejano. She is actually will be having her own show. We'll also be doing interviews. So please, please welcome Dina. Dina, Mr. Elias 30.
Mucho
Hello,
gusto, Dina.
Elias.
How you doing, Dina? Domingo Elias Tercero. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you too.
So, Elias, I need to ask you this question. I know just we briefly touched on it, but the name. Please tell us about the name.
Tercero.
Elias 30.
Yeah, so I know it could be a little confusing, but you have to really imagine you're saying the word tercero. I was mentioning to you, my real name is Domingo Elias de la Garza. So my dad, rest his soul, his real name, first name, his name was Domingo Elias de la Garza. That's one. And I have a half brother, Domingo Elias de la Garza. That's two. And I'm Domingo Elias de la Garza, el tercero de los tres. So on my artist name, I decided to keep both my first and middle name and put tercero, but instead of spelling out the word tercero, I wanted to make it a little different.
There you go.
With the 3ZR heroes, that is settle.
Tercero.
You just
There you
gotta
go.
roll it. You just gotta roll it off your tongue. Tercero.
That's
Yes,
pretty.
sir.
That's creative. That's very creative. So
So
But
those of you, those people that are good at acronyms and stuff like that, they'll catch fast.
well,
Somebody
hopefully
like
that.
somebody like me, I'll be like, wait a minute, 3030.
Uh, so it's tercero. And I get that a lot too, Joe, in the interviews, and it's okay because at least it gets people asking, right, or it keeps
Right.
them wondering. and that was also the intent. Que, oye, este muchacho, el tercero, what does that mean? Or how do you say this? Let's so it's that's kind of the intent también to kind of have people preguntando a ver qué.
So, Elias, on your music distribution, who normally is your main promoter that distributes your music out to the radio stations?
Right now, I'm with GT Digital out of Houston. They're my distributors on all digital platforms, and so so GT Digital, they're in charge of distributing all my songs to all the digital platforms. I think they're together with Empire Latino out of California, so it's them together. Now for like the old school way of doing stuff, sending them to the radio, that all goes with Lupito helping me out of from Azteca Records there out of San Antonio, Lupito Rosales.
Okay.
So I'm covering both bases in that sense.
Okay.
Este, and talking about radio, Joe, when I first heard my first song on the radio, which it's every of my singles, gracias a Dios, I've had airplay. Local radio stations all the way to Corpus, to Laredo, and right now my current song is on Sirius XM Aguila radio station, which is um pero lo que quiero decir, when I first heard my first song, man, being a new artist and when you're writing your own music and finally you hear your voice, I almost broke down crying, man. And at that point, it's a new phase or a new achievement. I feel like, man, I already made it. Yeah, I made it. Even though there's more to it, to
Right.
me at that moment, I felt that I had already made it. For me personally, felt like an awesome personal achievement. I understand there's so much more than to just hearing your music on the radio, but at that moment, I felt like, man, God, thank you, God, and I'm hoping my dad was looking down, smiling, being proud of his son doing what I'm doing with the music.
Yeah, I bet he was, man. I can tell you that much, man. You've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. You
Uh,
know, even though it's taken you a little bit long to write your own music, because that's one of the biggest accomplishments as an artist. You doing your own music and you singing your own music. And
yeah.
that's a little bit longer than just saying, "Hey, I got this song from this person. They want me to record it." It has a little bit of a different meaning behind that.
Well, I think and the difference there is that since it's your own work, it's more passionate in a sense. I'm not saying that if I have somebody else's writing, of course I'm going to put the same effort, but you feel more pride into, para más que te salga bien, it's just your own writing. You wanted to, I guess, touch people in a way that, damn, man, he's writing something good. And that song de mi dad, la que le escribí cuando falleció, I always say this. Yeah, I wrote it for my father, but I also dedicated to all those people that don't have their dad with them either. Um, and I think a lot of people relate because of what I say on that particular song. And that's what I want for the audience to be able to relate with what I'm trying to say. And in a way, feel a connection with me, Domingo Elias Tercero, the artist, as a person.
I totally understand. I know exactly what you mean by that. I'm like yourself. Lost my father a long time ago, back in 2017. So had to learn the ropes very quickly to be able to become an adult sooner than later, right? So
Oh,
I totally understand. I get it. So now looking at your music, you're available on all digital platforms. Is that correct? Yes.
yeah. Thank you for the question, man, because I'm over here focusing on what you're saying, and I'm leaving out all of the good stuff to tell the people. No. So, yeah, I always tell this. So, anybody listening, just go to your favorite music digital platform where you download all your songs, you stream your songs, and type in Domingo Elias Tercero, 3ZERO, and you will see that's my cousin right there. Hey, he's the one that plays the accordion with me.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's a very good, talented guy. So back to yeah, just go Spotify, YouTube Music. What is the other ones? Apple Music, Deezer. Just type in my name, and all the songs that I have out are there. And por favor, también follow me. Since I'm already throwing digital platforms there, look up my name on all social media. I have my own fan page, Domingo Elias Tercero on Facebook, TikTok, Domingo Elias Tercero, Instagram, on YouTube. Especially on YouTube, you go to my YouTube channel, you get to see all the official music videos. I've done a music video for every song, Joe. and Dina, and I'm very happy because I don't just like I try not to just always do like live with a band. I
Right.
make the story of the music videos. Like it's a you can follow through with.
Definitely. With your permission, we'd like to be able to get those videos and put them on our social media page and play them out for everybody to see.
Please do so.
On Serious Tejano.
Please do. I don't know if you need me to send them to you, you could just get them straight from my YouTube channel. I mean, they're there. I think you're able to do that, right, Joe?
Yes, we're able to get those, and if not, I can contact
Lupito.
Mr. Luis, I believe. I forgot. I'm getting nervous
Lupe.
here.
Lupe.
Lupe.
Hey,
Lupe.
Lupito. I call him Lupito. Lupe Rosales, yeah.
Yes, sir. I can contact Lupe here, and we can make arrangements there. Dina, do you have any questions for Mr. Elias?
Yeah,
Yes,
Dina.
I do.
Dina.
It's the La Garza. Did you
De
say
la
the La
Garza,
Garza?
yes, ma'am.
So
Sí.
are you related to David? David? No,
De la
that's
Garza.
David. That's David Lee Garza.
David Lee Garza, yeah.
Okay. So do you have any band members that have played with other bands that have
So
come with you?
actually, yeah. So look, my group of guys my go-to guys that I've been because I've done one event already, Joe and Dina. One concert I was the opening act. Now, like I said, in February I'll be the main act. Gracias a Dios. But the guys that I always go to are friends, relatives, or people that I've known for a while. And one particular gentleman that helps me out a lot, and he kind of helps with the arrangement, the man, or he puts us on our feet. Like he's the one that tells us he's a perfectionist, which I love. Roger Leon Pena, Roger Pena, saludos. That gentleman played with Mas back in the Joe days, and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the accordionist and keyboard player for them. And currently, right now, he's on the road with Los Fugitivos, the '90s big band from the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
he works for them right now. But
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the guys that are part of helping me out when I have events that have been playing music quite a bit with some big talented artists. My cousin on the accordion, Juan Cuevas, he works with a recording studio. He writes his own music también, and they're sending like songs out to Monterrey, allá en Mexico for a Grupo Firme and things like that,
Okay.
the big grupos like that. And they've already had good communications with them as far as some of their songs. So I'm very proud for him too. And so that's to answer your question, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, los
Okay.
otros muchachos también, I don't want to leave them out because if it wasn't because of them, the musicians, I wouldn't have a show. Um, I do the singing, I write my music. I wish I would have stuck to band the whole time I was in high school, but uno quiere jugar football. Yeah, thinking at that young age you're going to be an NFL player when more than likely you could have been a more of a better artist or a musician, pero uno no sabe cuando está en los teens, ¿me entiendes?
So,
Um,
Leah, do you want to? I'm sorry, Dina. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't. Sorry.
okay. Well, let's see if it just went by. So when you're writing your music, do you have a theme behind it? What do you like to write about? Do you like love songs or just things that happen to you from day to day, or what is your
Yeah.
style?
So I don't focus on a particular emotion or feeling like love or sadness. Es más nada de lo que estoy sintiendo and the whatever I've experienced. Like nada es igual. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
went through some horrible grief. That song in a way helped me también with the process, even though it was very hard. Then I wrote a song que se llama Yo Prefiero Vivir Solo, which has been out. That song talks about, man, I'm tired of dealing with you, woman. I'd rather be by myself. Like the day to day of when couples get on each other's nerves and el guy dice, whatever, I'm gone. Because I see it a lot, right? And sometimes I experience it. I'm not going to be saying that I haven't gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote that song, pues chingado, man. And then I wrote a song, Mi Güerita, that was for my partner. Right now it's a little difficult with us, but I wrote that song for her. So everything, it depends on what I'm going through,
Do you like cumbias? Do
I
you
feel
play
like,
more? You prefer cumbias over anything else, or
no,
what is your preference?
mira, I love cumbias, pero me gustan más los como la Cruz de Madera, Entiérrenme cantando, like, no corridos, pero lo que más norte, like, que te hagas
Ah,
un share y que te eches un grito.
yeah. So, any corridos that you've written about somebody, you know how the corridos todo el tiempo hablan there was there was always a tragedy
Yeah.
in the
So
corrido.
this particular song that I have out now, Soldado Lisiado, it's a
Mhm.
corrido style song. It's very impactful. It's Soldado Lisiado means wounded soldier. It was a gentleman that got wounded in Iraq. And then I was telling Joe earlier, it does bring the subject and it talks about suicide in a song. This gentleman ends
Mhm.
up taking his own life. So it's a
Mhm.
corrido. It's a heartfelt song. The music video, it's amazing. I'm not saying it. I get it from everybody. I People have cried watching that video. Um, it's that powerful. So corridos, they don't have to be about narcotraficantes or you know how you hear all these narco corridos.
Mhm.
This could be. I mean, this particular song, it's a very emotional song. It's a corrido style song. Um, Me gusta de todo, you know, los corridos, and then Las Paredes. It's another song that I'll be releasing. It's a corrido style song, um, which will be released next year. So I wrote that song. The Soldado Lisiado, my dad wrote it. I just added like a line on that song. It was more like a joint thing, but all the credit goes to my dad because he wrote all of it per se, most of it.
As a writer, when you're cruising around or whatever, you think about something. Is that when you write it down spontaneously? I'm always curious about writers
So
because
mira,
it's so clever how they bring the song together, and it's like, wow, that's if you really listen to the lyrics, it's nice to know to match that personality, the writing, and the lyrics to the person that is singing it or that just wrote it.
yeah. So I've got two songs that I think I just wrote the first verse and I left it there. I can't. So I'll go back and I'm telling you, I wrote it like 2 months ago, like at 2 in the morning, in a little piece of paper, and I just left it there. But when I
Uh-huh.
write it, I already have like tonadita, so I get my phone and there's that little audio recording, so I
Uh-huh.
record the tune while I'm so I
Uh-huh.
don't forget la tonadita,
Yeah.
for that verse, so I can continue the rest of it. And so
Uh-huh.
I left, I think, two or three unfinished songs there that I just go back to it. But before, like these other songs, I did them like all in one sitting.
Wow.
For some reason, it's not working for me like that right now.
Uh-huh. I think sometimes, the mind just has to chill a little bit, and there's that time for just um giving you that space to bring your thoughts back or bring another experience back, or I mean, it has to happen. It's an art.
Yes, it is.
It's an art.
It So one thing I have like maybe two or three more songs that have been completed that I'm gonna be recording. But Joe was asking me where did I get the inspiration. My dad was a composer of music. I don't think you were on then, and I didn't show this to you guys, but look, real quick, hold on. I'm in my office, so uh, I have songs here my dad wrote that have never been out. I have to go through all of these songs,
Ooh.
which
Wow.
which is a good thing because I feel amazing that my dad left all this. So from now on, everything after my three or four songs that I'm done, I'm gonna go into
Mhm.
all of my dad's music and start recording his work that I'm very proud of. Right? And
Do the songs have dates on that? Do you have dates on on your
some
history?
do, some
Some do.
don't.
Uh-huh.
Um, some are written in his hand, so like he would type them, and some he wrote in his hand, so it's hard for me to be able to read whatever he was writing. But I también tengo CDs. Like he would have friends that were musicians in the '90s and early 2000s, and they would go to studios or to like. I think he had a good friend that converted his garage into a studio back then. So luckily, I have all the CDs already with the tempo or kind of beat, but
Mhm.
they were never commercialized on the radio or anything.
Mhm.
So what I'm gonna probably do, I mean, I think my dad did all the work already for me because we're gonna go to the studio, depending on the songs that I pick and I like, and try to keep the skeletal sound of the way they had it, and then twist it a little more to my style and make it fresher. And now,
Of course, you'll give recognition to your father,
it
right?
always does.
And in those archives, would you want to go like to the oldest, to the newest, or you just at this
I'm
point you?
so what I do, whatever I go through, what I'm doing is going through all the CDs first, and just the ones I like. because
Mhm.
even though my dad wrote the music, doesn't mean I have to like every single song that he wrote.
Right.
Like in me gusta, I write it down and then I separate the CD and then I type out the lyrics. So what I'm
Mhm.
doing is I have this old CD player right here, right next to me. I think it's missing a button. So like I'll type, pause, stop,
Any
rewind.
any cassettes in there anywhere?
No, yeah, no, pero I mean, it's like a process, right? Because when I hear a
Right.
song that I like, I'm typing it out. If he doesn't have it typed out, so I gotta like pause, stop, rewind it a little bit. And yeah, see my voice. I'm here for like hours.
So do
It,
you think that some of those songs were his experiences as well?
so
Was that his personality? Was that your dad's personality too?
no, my dad would write about experiences, personal experiences, about people that he knew. He
Oh.
in the essence of the word corrido, he wrote corridos for a lot of people, a
Oh.
lot of politicians, local politicians here.
Oh.
They were real good friends of my dad. Some owners of horses that want like racetracks, things
Mhm.
like that. So my dad actually knew how to write corridos as for people or of people. I don't think I have that gift, and I don't know. I haven't tried it. Yo nomás escribo lo que es más como cumbia, norteñito, tejanito. I think to write corridos, you gotta have some sort of a style, and I don't think that's. I don't have it yet, or I haven't tried it.
But history repeats itself. So you'll get comfortable once you look at it, and it'll just, with your talent, it'll just come out. And I respect your honesty too about, what you want to do or what you wouldn't like, or I
Well,
think
you
that's
know,
important.
one of the things about me, a lot of people tell me, dude, you always are very straight, say the truth, and a lot of people
Right.
nowadays don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear the
Right.
yes. They just want you
Right.
as a friend, and yes, you're good y todo. Yo te lo dejo caer as a friend, or if I know you, and a lot of people kind of get upset with me with that.
Ya está uno más en paz, ¿verdad?
A lot of people get upset with me, or even my family members sometimes don't even want to talk to me. But
Uh-huh.
that's
Yeah.
the yeah. If I can,
I'll give it back to Joe.
all right, what I was gonna say to you, if I can't do something, I'm not gonna say I can, or
That's
like
yeah,
meaning if
right.
I know it's not in my lane, I'm not gonna go
Mhm.
out of my lane. I
Right.
also know my style of vocals and the way I sing is you gotta stay within your means of what your voice fits
Yes.
to what instrument or what sound.
Mhm.
No, no, I know my limits, my where I'm
Mhm.
restricted, and I'm gonna use. I
Right.
still gotta use that to
Yeah.
my advantage.
Yeah, because when you get on the stage, your stage presence and what you sing, you got to feel it from the heart, man. And
Yeah, that'll.
that's when you're going to have a good outcome, a good concert, because everything's coming from your heart,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I did the other show I was mentioning. It was November 8th, where I was the opening act with another couple groups that were invited, and a lot of people. I mean, amazing round of applauses. And then when I finished, I went through the crowd because my mom and my family were sitting there, and everybody was like, I had six different people that didn't know each other sitting in different areas of that event. And I think I took it like an amazing compliment. They're like, you have that voice casi como la de Michael Salgado. And these are two like separate people, and there was six of them. I counted because and I'm like, to me, I take it as a huge compliment.
Right.
But
And your audience will be honest with you. They'll
yeah,
tell you, they
yeah, and they told me,
yeah.
and I said, look, I'm not trying to make my voice like that. That's the way I sing, Domingo Elias, but I appreciate the compliment. I don't want them to think I'm trying to make my voice purposely like that because that's así canto,
Mhm.
pero I still believe his voice is still más fregona, más chingona, pero I'm just,
Mhm.
I have my style, my way of singing, and
Right.
les gusta la gente, gracias a Dios.
Yeah. Do you wear a cowboy hat on stage too?
Sí, yes, ma'am.
So there
Y,
he
pero,
is
pero los
with
mías
his
son
cowboy hat
como,
and his boots.
tiene los little feathers también, little feathers aquí.
Ah,
Look me up on YouTube, Dina, YouTube channel. You can see
I'm going to.
I
I
have
can't
some
wait to
short,
go in there
have
and
some
hear you.
short clips of my concert, or you go to TikTok, you
Yes.
can see, or even on my Facebook page, Dina and everybody listening, Domingo Elias Tercero, 3ZERO. Go over there.
Yeah, and don't forget to add me on Facebook too, okay?
I just added Sirius Tejano, which I should have done a while back. So my apologies,
Yeah.
guys.
And under
And,
look for Dina Madrid, Dina. Dina
okay,
Madrid.
I'll
Yeah.
do that as soon as we're done.
Okay. Okay.
So, Elias, would you introduce your band to us as far as how many band members, their names? Uh,
So I can and I can't. The reason I'm saying that is the muchachos that I use are not my guys per
okay,
se. So we're not a committed band. It's like they're there, and these are the gentlemen that I've been able to lean on, and they've been available. If they're not available because they have other,
right,
projects going on. So I don't want to do that and make it like sound so official because we're not at that point yet.
okay,
Okay? And I don't want to entremeterlos compromise what they got going.
understood.
But it's not that it's not known, that, and we usually talk, hey, are you able to perform with me? Because there's also those contracts depending on what they have. So I always like to ensure that I'm not compromising what they have going on because at the end of the day, it's a business. So I always tell them if there's something else going on, if you haven't committed to me for that day, but you got something else going on, do it because at the end of the day, they need income for their families, and I'm not one to tell them no. And I'm more than anything, I'm very appreciative that they say yes to help me out because they could always say no easily because, like I mentioned, some of these guys are músicos, and believe me, como Roger, that's another thing I feel very confident about me. Roger won't just not play with anybody if he didn't think the singer wasn't sounding too good because Roger has played with some big bands, so
Mm-hmm.
and he always tells me, he gives me a boost of confidence because él siempre me dice, you sound good, keep doing what you're doing, and keep practicing. So like I go to this place and I haven't been there in a while, but before I release another song or before I go to the studio for a song, I go to Crescendo Music Institute here in Mission with director Eloy Garza. Shout out to Mr. Eloy Garza. Uh, he does instruments, teaching instruments. Like he's got a big school with a staff and vocals as well. So I try to give the people a good product and content. So I try to go to train my voice a little bit more. Do it the right way, right? I do it Domingo's way, but there's also a professional way to start uh, honing those skills as far as singing. And I put time and effort, and so I go there para los vocals.
That sounds pretty very. It sounds like you're very considerate for everybody, which is very great to hear, Elias, because some uno no se prestan, uno se prestan y es donde está un poquito más difícil, ¿verdad? So,
And I think it's a lot harder and it's not harder, es que si músicos están con una established band that are their full-time band, I think a lot of times they sign contracts and they got to be committed to that band because you can't, there's a lot of clauses in those contracts. So I always try to make sure that it's okay before even if it's a little gig or event, I don't want to compromise what they have with their parent band if they have one. And it's hard, Joe, starting when como yo voy empezando, I don't have my established band yet because we're not even at that point where I have a constant tour dates. Ya si tuviera como a whole month or 2 months of back-to-back gigs, trust me, it's a lot easier because they know they're going to commit to you. They're going to get their steady revenue coming in, you see, and that's where I understand it's a business. And I'm not going to have somebody say, hey, no, you're not going to play with that guy even though we're not playing. I can't do that. Go make your money, bro.
right, man. Kudos to you, man. That very very proud of you to hear you say that.
Thank
And I
you.
totally understand contracts, so I get that part too. But
Mm-hmm.
kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Elias, I know you're starting. You have your first event or your first gig. Currently, do you have any merchandise that you are currently selling?
Well, I keep reaching all the way back here. I have some of these. I have a variety of shirts. I have shirts that have been made with the cover art of each of my singles, right? So I do have them for sale. They're not that expensive, like $15 cada uno. Pero I don't really put it much on my. I think I've only put it on my social media once. I don't focus a lot of selling merch, especially when I'm just starting, because
Right.
we got to be very honest. I'm still an up and coming artist, so no mucha gente sabe de mí. This is why platforms like yours are very helpful for new artists. So thank you for having me, because that's how we're reaching the masses. And like you said, you're having me on it, and you're allowing people to know me and know who I am and my music. So todo pasito. Pero yeah, I do have shirts for sale, Joe. I get carried away there, but I mean, a lot of times I just give them away to people when if they were if they're lucky, because if I have them in my truck, if somebody recognizes me, hey, you got a shirt, bro. Se las doy gratis.
There you go. So you have Norma Salazar on. Roy says hello, and then well before you're on, my friend.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
so is the booking information details? Do they contact you, Elias, for the booking?
Yeah. So look, Joe, for booking, and I tell people follow me and send me messages or comments, because right now I'm responding to every single comment and message. It's a very hard thing to do when you got like 3 or 4 different social media platforms. But I go in and see, I like late at night. I have a hard time sleeping, and I go and I look at all the comments and messages, and I want them to know I'm responding, and it's not the same comments response. It's I change it all up because I want them to know it's me. It's not a robot, or it's not somebody just copying and pasting. Even bad comments, because I've had bad comments. Hey, bring them on. Anything, as long as my name is in your mouth and my music's in there, it doesn't matter. But to for bookings, just message me direct. I won't give out my personal number out on the air, but send messages. I think the best thing right now to do is message me through my fan page on Facebook. That's where I'll communicate more when it comes to bookings. And
There you go.
for my concert in February, I know you're in Crystal City. It's a little way off McAllen, but for people watching, maybe here locally, um, they can go to topboxtickets.com, www.topboxtickets.com, uh, to look up the concert date and the tickets. And they can also call this number and ask for Tony. He's the promoter, excuse me, for that event, for that concert. It's 956-600-3501. 956-600-3501, and that's for our concert February 21st. Um, y pues, I'm excited for the new year. Si Dios quiere, I leave it all up to God. Um, we'll start getting more gigs, man, because people are really, really enjoying my current single, Les Gusta Bastante, and I think it's the message, and not the message, but the impact that, it's very impactante, man. Yeah, it is.
Can you mention the your current single so that the audience that we do have coming in? What
Yeah,
is the name of
so
your current single?
the current song, the single se llama Soldado Lisiado. It's wounded soldier. It's what it translates to. And if you don't mind, I can tell you a little bit about the song itself. So the song, it talks about a young man who enlists in the military. And once he enlists in the military, he's deployed to Iraq. In Iraq, there's an explosion on one of the missions he went on, and this young man ends up losing both his legs and his arm. They medevac him out of the area. Then you gotta like follow the song. You gotta use your imagination. They take him to one of the hospitals nearby to get the emergency surgery, and with time, he's recovering, getting a little bit of strength. He's still not home, so he sends a letter or an email, whichever you want to imagine it is, telling his parents, "Hey, I'm coming home. I already served my country proudly, but I'm bringing a friend without legs." He doesn't tell him it's him.
Mm.
And his parents reply back, um, "Son, we're waiting for you, ecstatically happy with open arms, but don't bring disabled people around the house. Don't bring burden around the house."
Oh. Mm.
And then at the end, that's almost towards the end, he ends up taking his own life.
Wow.
And it's the song is it's powerful. My dad wrote it. I added like a line in there, so I don't even say I did anything. It's my dad's song. Um, but again, it touches on a subject that I think a lot of people sometimes don't want to talk about, but it's slowly getting a lot of traction. 22 veterans a day take their life each day. So by the end of today, 22 veterans have, according to statistics, killed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for PTSD, could be for a variety of reasons. PTSD, which is mental horrible, because I went through it. I was this close to being one of the statistics. No joke. Uh, could be chronic daily pain, which I go through. I had knee surgeries. I had two discs removed from my neck, so I have a little plate on my neck. I have lower back pain, so I relate to a lot of these things. Could be divorce, could be whatever. You know, PTSD itself adds a lot of other stuff. Makes somebody very aggressive. Se enoja por todo, se fastidia bien fácil. And a lot of people can only put up with that for so long, right? No matter how much they love you. And that leads also to divorce. So I understand. I understand. No, I'm using the wrong word. I still don't understand it because I don't think no one should have to do that, right? I don't. I hate that we lose so many of our veterans to suicide, especially if they've been to combat and they survived and they saw the enemy or death with their own eyes and were able to control themselves under stress and fight them off. Para que vengan y nomás quiten su vida. It's horrible. It shouldn't happen. And so, yeah, I don't.
Do you
I,
think the song does the song bring some healing to, do you think will it bring some healing to the audience? The song itself?
well,
Or to, not to the audience so much as to a person that has
so
gone through.
so for example, November 9th, Mark, there was a comedian, Mario Salazar. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Mario Superstar Salazar. He was a Marine, but he's a very good comedian, very well known comedian now. And I put it. I asked him to be on that music video, and he loved it so much. He said, "Hey, November 9th, I'm gonna have a show for veterans. It's like a salute to veterans show. I want you to be there and perform the song." Like, bro, instead of performing the song, why don't I just show the music video? Because I had that music video had just been released the day before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk a little bit to the audience, and then we'll just present it. And this is how I'm answering your question. I don't know if it was hitting them, but they all stood up and clapped, being veterans, knowing what I'm talking about. I think they like more of what I put in the music video, where I'm making it like I'm honoring their hard work, their sacrifice. Like, it's not a music video that I just put in like así como si nada. I put a lot of thought and effort into it. And thank you to Valdemar Garcia, the video director. He really took a lot of my input and made the music video what it is. Very powerful, very impactful. Um, and so I can't answer your question. I didn't do it for necessarily that with my intention of hopefully it heals somebody, but I hope it honors uh,
Mm.
if they had a family member or a veteran member or somebody they knew that might have done that. I hope it kind of honors that individual in a way.
I like how you answered that. I really like the way you delivered that statement right there. To
Thank you.
honor, not, and yeah, that's that's impactful.
Thank you.
Yeah, to especially to the audience, to the people that are going to listen. I'm sure that they're going to go back and listen to this interview, and they're probably going to go straight to YouTube and look for the song.
I mean,
Because the way our country is now, it you really, a lot of reflection right now to our country, and people are leaning towards that, and they're actually recognizing veterans more today than they
yes.
ever did.
I mean, man, if I was a veteran during the Vietnam times, I've been
Right.
told the Vietnam veterans I would have probably got spat on. And
Hmm.
you know, when veterans or military personnel were coming back from their rotations in Iraq and Afghanistan, they'll be met at the airport by family members and applauses. They todo. In Vietnam, there was nobody waiting for them. and if they were cussing at them or spitting at them.
Yeah.
So the fact that in our country now is they do show that recognition and respect. And yeah, you're right. Because back then they
Yeah.
had it rough. They had
And
it rough.
it's not until you sit down and you talk to somebody that was in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, they
And
had it rough.
that just happened to me last year with some we were having a fiesta, and they were in charge of the fiesta, and he came over to do an interview. His name is Leo. He's a musician.
Okay.
And you know, until I got to really know him through the conversations, man, he put me to tears. And then I totally, like, I did a turnaround on my thoughts about, about the Vietnam War. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, they treated them so bad. There was no compassion when they came
No,
back. It was like, okay, you were in the military, whatever, but it was, man, that was, I mean, at the time they were just totally just set to the side, like, okay, you went and did your time, we're done,
yeah,
and move on with life. But anymore today, I think people are being more compassionate about their service.
I agree. And I don't know, man. Like if your own country would have like when I say your own country, your own people of your own country like spitting at you for fighting when you join the military, you follow orders. Bottom line, that's
Right.
your job. You follow orders, and especially
And
the
you know what? I was going to mention too that Elias, that song, bringing on a song like that, you know, being a radio host, I like to play music like that during the remembrance of the veterans. Like, what is it, November the 9th? And I'm sure that song that will be one that people will consider, radio hosts will consider playing.
yes, ma'am. So November 11th, Veterans Day. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, just throwing but it's November 11th on Veterans Day, and you're right.
November, yes. Hmm.
As November 9th, I released the song, the music video for Soldado Lisiado, and then the actual song was released on all digital platforms on November 11th on Veterans Day. And
Hmm.
for that purpose, because I wanted to do it for them and to honor them in the way I did the music and the song. So, but you're absolutely correct on everything you said right now.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's one that you'll probably play even more, at that time and
Yeah.
during that season.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Uh, Roy has a question for you. It says, "Do you make music for YouTube backing tracks?"
You know what? I don't know how to answer that, Joe, because I really don't even know what that means. I'll be honest. If it's like everything with social media or monetization or adding ads or backing tracks, I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to ask me there. But I mean, my music just goes to the digital platforms. So I don't know if I answered that correctly or not, Joe. If you have a little more insight on that, Joe, I don't know. Maybe tell me what he's asking. If you,
That's first I've ever heard of backtracking. So I guess we can ask Roy. I think he's still tuning into us. You also have Annette Garcia.
saludos, Annette. How you doing? Thank you. She's a friend here locally, and her son invited her son invited me to his school for Veterans Day as a vet.
Oh,
I know her sons, but I didn't think they would ask me. And the worst part was he was scheduled at a certain time, and then I have my nephew and my nieces come in right that asked me, and I was able to schedule them right. And then she sends me a message. Hey, they moved the thing to they moved his time to this time, and like, oh man. Then I looked at my nephew's time, like, oh, they said, I am so sorry, but I have to go with my nephew. Well, it turns out they go to the same school, and it was the same time, so I was with both of
that
them, so
worked out
it all
perfect.
worked out good.
Yeah.
Hey, so there was George. He's also he's out of California, by the way, Joe. I don't know if you know him. He's got his own radio show over there, so I'll be doing an interview with him later on. So, Mister,
Excellent.
just want to shout out to him as well.
This goes out to Dina from Norma.
Hi, Norma.
Hey. Also, can I say I'm gonna say hi to my mama? I just saw her say saludos earlier in the show. My mom was on, and not only that, let me just say it right, Joe. I usually always let me say a shout out y saludos to my mom. There she is, Patricia Garcia, to my brothers and sisters,
Hello,
uh,
Patricia.
and
Saludos.
my friend Jaime that was on. You know, that's one of the first things I should always do. My mom always said, make sure you thank the host for having you on. I said, yes, ma'am, I know that. And then I should know better. I need to give shout out and some love to my family, my mom. So love you, mom.
You got a good man here, Patricia.
Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
it's there.
So,
Or I should say a good son, huh?
Thank you.
so Dina, do you have any other questions for Elias?
I just can't wait. Do you have his music?
Yes, we actually
Did you play
have
his
his
song?
music. We've actually been playing it in the background, so very, very low.
If you play that Soldado Lisiado, Joe,
Looking for that one right now.
that's the one.
So, since I have you here and I came in a little late, pardon me for that. Where are you again? Where are you from? Where
I'm
you?
from the Rio Grande Valley, 956,
Uh-huh.
Mission,
Okay.
Texas, right next to McAllen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have yet to go that way. I'm in New Mexico,
Let's go. I
off
used to
the
go.
interstate.
I used to go to New Mexico. Well, so some of my work takes me to New Mexico at times. I do a lot of executive protection and like bodyguard work. It's nice.
Uh-huh.
And then
Uh-huh.
I also worked for this other company as a contractor where we trained U.S. military forces, like special forces, on
Mm-hmm.
go to their bases and we give them like some. It's called Op 4 training, opposition forces training. So
Uh, is it
we
at White Sands
yeah.
Missile Range? I
I
was
go to
just
White.
gonna say because
I go to
that's where
I go to
that's where
White
they
Sands, New
created the
Mexico.
atomic bomb, the first
Yes,
atomic bomb.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I go to White Sands, New Mexico. We train the Navy SEALs go through there sometimes, or
Yeah.
Marines, and
Right.
we train. When we say we train them, we just give them the most realistic scenarios that they could see when they get deployed, especially coming from veterans that have been there, like this, and seen what we've seen. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually set up the whole deal: explosions, helicopters coming in. We have
Mm-hmm.
people, we have Middle Eastern people, American Middle Eastern people that live here now that also
Right.
dress up like the whole thing. So it's as real as it could be without being in a Middle Eastern country or
Mm-hmm.
uh, or a third world country like that. And I take pride in helping those guys out because if we can save a life, if they learn anything, maybe they can learn and pick up something while we do the training. Maybe once they're downrange, they can realize or something will spark in their head and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everybody home. Because
Have you been down to SpaceX?
no, in Brownsville, I
No, no, here in New Mexico.
you got SpaceX in New Mexico. I see the
Yes.
rockets there in White Sands. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
You mean there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, espérate.
That's
Okay.
okay. But White Sands is beautiful. Have you been to White Sands?
I have
Because
so I've been there quite a bit now, only for work because most of
uh-huh.
the I'm
Yeah,
sleeping.
because the missile range is named White Sands, but if you literally go to the White Sands, where we have the White Sands,
Yes,
of course, it's the
I,
gypsum,
I, I,
mineral gypsum.
I'm gonna need to make an effort to go. I'll be in El Paso actually Saturday to do one of these contracts that I just talked about.
Oh, uh-huh. I see. Yeah,
So
you'll be very close to home. We're just right off the interstate, Interstate 10, by Las Cruces.
yeah, that's for New Mexico.
Yeah, right.
Um, I think you guys are very well known for your chile over there, right? The green
Yeah,
chile.
well, it's actually Hatch. Hatch, New Mexico is the chili capital of the world.
So I've been seeing a lot of these. I know we're getting a little off topic, Joe. Sorry, but Norma's talking about New Mexico. I see a lot of stuff on Facebook about the Hatch chili company,
Yes. We
and
have the best chili in the world. I don't care
I
who
just
says what.
literally
The best.
last night at 2 in the morning, I just ordered like 6 jars of chili, man. Because
Did
the
you?
little video clips, the guy eating them, and it's so like I ordered
Yeah.
6 jars last like at 2 3 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So I'm waiting for those jars so I can eat them with. The dude is eating them with like a big fat burger. He's just adding the chili on it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Well, anybody there has yet to taste my red chili. It's the best. I'm so conceited about that. But yeah, yet everybody tells me Texas, and yeah, I go here and you eat this red chili, and I'm like, I'm not eating this stuff.
No, but in Texas, we make the stuff spicy. In New Mexico, there's no spice to it. It's a lot of flavor, but no mucho. I like my
No,
chili.
hay picoso, está picoso también. They have different kinds. They
Well,
all have a name too. Sandia's the highest.
you can send me a jar.
Well, there's a difference between salsa and chili. So you're talking about sauce, right?
Salsa.
Salsa. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
And you're right.
that's
Yes. So you're correct. You're correct. There's a big difference. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. We took over your
yeah.
show.
He's
Uh,
now he's waiting on us.
this is a great interview. We get to see the personal side of Elias, we get to see the Tejano side of Elias, and we get to see how he eats his burgers now. How's that?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a live once I get the damn jar and with a burger.
There you go.
I'm gonna send it straight to the company. A ver qué si me dan, mandan algo gratis.
So yeah, so no, it's been great, Elias. It's been a really honor having you on Serious Tejano. It's also great that we actually did receive additional music from you to be able to add to our rotation. So definitely we'll be adding that additional music and playing your music a little bit, a lot more now that we want to be able to give you a lot of exposure up in our area.
I appreciate it. And I said thank you earlier, but thank you for the time and for the space here, like in your segment and your show. Because again, I want to say that it's because of you guys that like the new artists or the up and coming artists get that we get that exposure. That's how people get to know us. And so
No,
I
definitely, definitely.
I wanted to say hello to Luna Slice. He's also a radio host. Not
so
with us, but he's a radio DJ. He plays some great music. He's out there in ay ay ay, I forgot. I think he's in San Antonio. Yeah, he moved from Michigan, I believe. Hi Luna.
hi Luna.
Actually, he just got out of the hospital, so let's wish him well, guys.
Yeah, speedy recovery, whatever it is you're going through, and hope you get well soon.
Luis, so George is asking you a question here. Who are your inspirations in this genre?
So,
What inspired you to Tejano?
George, shouldn't you hold that question when you do my interview in January? No, no, hey, look. So my music right now sounds de repente se oye muy tejano conjunto. I grew up with a lot of the norteño sound, right? And I grew up listening to La Mafia was one of the bands that I enjoyed a lot growing up, and Michael Salgado. Pero para mí Ramón Ayala, los Invasores, that's the type of music that I grew up with. Um, so I don't know if that answers the question, but my music really got inspired by my dad. So that's the bottom line.
Yeah. So Joe Lian, saludos y bendiciones. Hello, Joe. ¿Cómo
Yes. Hi,
estamos?
Joe. Artist Joe Leon. How are you, Joe?
Uh,
He's out of Chicago, Illinois.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Saludos. Ahí
saludos de Monterrey, Nuevo León, Santa Carina, de
Wow.
parte de Edgar Valdez.
Saludos, Mr. Valdez, all the way to Monterrey, hasta Monterrey, arriba.
You
So,
you got you have a good voice there. You know that?
Thank you. Gracias.
Why don't you spit out like maybe like 30 seconds of a song? Your favorite part where you're driving around and you just esa nota nomás le pega.
Now,
No?
look. I'll start on the opening of my new song.
All right.
Pongan atención, señores, lo que traigo en mi memoria. Pero quiero que la escuchen una verdadera historia de un soldado del gobierno. Les cuento su trayectoria.
Ooh,
there we
there you
go.
go. Good voice. Yeah.
Thank
Powerful
you.
voice there.
Thank you.
So,
I think you guys will like the songs. So I know I'm a new artist and you guys have me on, but les encargo for you guys to hear my music too, because I think you guys will enjoy it si Dios quiere.
Again, can you tell them, since we do have a new audience, tell them the name of that song, ese corrido que acabas de
Yeah,
cantar?
so the little bit that I just sang, it's for my new single, Soldado Lisiado. It's been on the radio already on Sirius XM Aguila, on the local radio stations here in Corpus. It's going to be in Sirius Tejano. online radio with Joe and Dina here, and you can find it on your favorite digital musical platform, your music platform, wherever you download or stream your music. It's all of my songs are all over on all the digital platforms. Y si quieren ver the actual video, like the scenes, you can see the story as you're listening to the music. Go to my YouTube channel, Domingo Elias Tercero 3ZERO, like you see on the bottom of your screen there, and you get to enjoy all my music videos there. And drop a comment. Hopefully, it's a positive one. But I won't censor if it's not, man. Hey, that's your prerogative. You're right. Do you? I can't hear you, Joe. Can you hear him?
Can't, Joe, we can't hear you.
Joe, like
Yeah.
sign language. He said, Dina, you take over the show. He said,
I take over the show. Well, again, for some of you guys that just joined us now, thank you so much for joining us. I think we have a prize here of an artist, and it's conjunto music. I
oh,
believe that is your genre that you focus on more. Do you sing anything other than conjunto? I want to say like, do you have any cover songs that you sing?
yeah, so obviously, because my original work isn't that vast, no es mucho todavía,
Uh
I had to
huh.
fill in the slots with a lot of covers. So I have a list of songs that I karaoke really my whole life.
Uh
So
huh.
I already have a list of the songs that we'll be singing.
Uh huh.
A lot of Ramon Ayala music. I love Ramon Ayala.
Uh huh.
Some Los Viejones. That's a group in Mexico, really good. They have some good cumbia accordion sound that I
Uh
like to
huh.
sing. And I will do maybe una que otra song de Lalo Mora de Los Invasores
Uh
de
huh.
Nuevo León.
Invasores del Norte.
De Nuevo León, I think it is
De
Los
Nueva
Invasores.
York. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, porque hay dos. Ajá. Yeah.
Yes. So I do quite a bit of coverage. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
I actually the two songs that I'm releasing aside from Las Paredes that I wrote are going to be my first cover songs that I'll be releasing.
Mhm.
One song is written by Enrique Iglesias. Yeah.
Ooh,
So I made it real Tejano style. It's amazing. And I
that
made it,
is awesome.
made it
Yeah.
a cumbia style. And then there's another song that it's llama, it's more of a norteño song. That's how I heard of it and I liked it. That's how I karaoke it. But
Mhm.
we totally did the whole musical arrangement to my style, and it's more of a Tejano sound to it.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be real good.
Mhm.
Joe, can I hear you now? Or no, no,
No, he can't. Uh-oh.
no.
Well, yeah,
I
he's
think he
putting
can
me on
hear
the
us, but
he's
he
putting
can't
me
hear
on the
you.
spot here. It's supposed to be his interview. But that's
Uh,
okay. I want to say hello to all you guys out there that are listening right now. Así como George Salazar. Hello, George. Good evening and a happy late Thanksgiving. But I'm sure you had a beautiful one. Your life is beautiful. Yours enormous. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I am just so ecstatic to have you guys here tonight. Dina Madrid con ustedes. I just joined a Serious Tejano. It's been probably a week or 2 weeks. So it hasn't been that long. And I'm just excited to get on the air and play some music, for everybody to enjoy. We all have something in common, the music. It turns our world around, and that's where it's at for me. So I'm really excited to play Elias music. Elias y es 3-0. Elias y 3-0.
say it right, Dina Tercero.
Tercero.
No,
You have to put a
There you
I
you
go.
know,
have to put a ter in there.
I know you're reading
I'll, I'll
I
get
know
it
you're
right.
reading it how you sing it.
Yes, I know. I have to think
No,
about tercero.
no, you're okay because it's I wrote it a little confusing, but
I
it's
have
all
to think
good.
about the what is it? The ordinal numbers.
Yeah, that's it. Hey Joe, I think we heard you now.
Uh, how's that? Better?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Joe has a nice voice too. We should
Same.
ask him if he sings.
Let's put him on a spot. And now you're gonna have
Yeah.
to sing, Joe.
Yeah, watch me turn red here in a bit.
A little blush doesn't hurt anybody, Joe.
Oh, it's coming, all right.
So yeah, it's always nice to put when I'm on the air with my headphones listening to the music, to put the voice and the face to the music. It's just it's like an intrinsic value to have, to be able to know who the person is. And then pues más, cuando vaya para Texas and I get to meet you, I'll already know you. So,
Yes, yes,
you know,
ma'am.
yeah. So, well, welcome to the show. And any guest that we have on the show will always be special to us.
Now, thank you. No, I appreciate the time, guys.
Yes.
Um, it's been a very good journey for me starting, with my music. I think, and not just me saying it, but I've had a lot of people tell me that I've accomplished quite a bit already in a short, such short period of time. And for me, is when I put my mind to something, I usually want to do it and I'll get it done. Because the worst thing is to want to do something and never doing it, and then you feel like that regret of not even attempting it. You know what I mean?
And it's the Joe Leal from Chicago. He was just nominated too for the Uprising Male of the Year, right? Joe Leal is out of Chicago, and not to get you off the spot, but
No,
he
it's okay.
says every time I hear Joe, I think you're talking about me.
Uh,
Joe, you have a good voice too, by the way, Joe Leal. Thank you for joining us tonight, Joe.
so
And
Joe,
you heard Domingo here with Elias Tercero.
there you go.
He just sang to us, and I think we were gonna have a song. Um, we were gonna have a song played. Were you gonna play that song, Joe? Have a blessed night, Dina Madrid. Thank you, George Salazar. Blessings to you too.
Were you, Joe? Are you there or no?
I think he has a selective hearing now.
No, sorry, I'm messing around with my mics over here.
We can hear you. You can hear us. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Elías, muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros en Sirius Tejano. Un placer, un honor de tenerlo aquí con nosotros hoy.
That's the most
Este,
important Joe.
we wish you the very best in your career and your future events coming up for yourself. And we're proud to hear that you're having your first solo event come February. So good luck to you at that event.
Thank you, Joe, and Dina. Thank you as well. Uh, Man, I can't say thank you enough, right, for having me. I know this is gonna help with the exposure, and si Dios quiere, I'll be on again and in the future, And yeah, I'm excited for 2025. Ya que a ver qué viene.
And don't forget to lock it in on Sirius Tejano when I'm on, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
And I also want to give a shout out to Borao Lopez. Thank you, Borao Lopez Jr. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's surely appreciated that you guys are on here with us.
Well, guys, I'm gonna say thank you. And just let me know if you all need anything else from me in the future. If anything pops up where I could help, if I'm able to, I'll do it.
Absolutely, yes. Again,
Definitely,
this
thank
is
you so
El
much, Elias,
Grupo
for being here with us.
Elias Tercero, guys. This is who he is right here.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Bueno, nos despedimos, Elias. Muchas gracias. What started out to be a 30-minute interview really turned into be almost an hour and a half. So, man, that was a good interview.
I don't mind it because that's when you have a good engaging conversation. Most of my interviews usually start like all the platforms I've been to 30, 40 minutes. We're usually 1 hour, 30 minutes because it just flows.
Yeah.
But with that being said, yes, I'm gonna have to cut out here. Pero muchas gracias por su tiempo. Thank you for your time, both of you guys. My dog is over there whining. He's like one of my service dogs. I gotta feed him when it's dinner time. So me voy a despedir, los voy a dejar, pero I appreciate it, man. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Domingo. Have a nice evening.
Gracias, Elias. Muchas gracias. Hasta la próxima.
Yes, sir. Thanks, both of you. Bye-bye.
All right, Dina, it's just you and I. Thank you for joining us on the show. I think you were requesting a song from Elias here. So let me look for it real quick so we can play it and we'll close out the show for tonight.
Okay, so we're still on, right?
We are still on.
Okay. Once again, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for joining us tonight. I'm glad that we were able to sit down at a couch in our mind and get comfortable with Domingo Elias Tercero. Don't forget to look out for his music. Go to YouTube and check it out. He's got some great music in there. I can already tell. He sang for us tonight. He told us about his love for the veterans, and that's a great thing to have. A great what would you call it? A deed or something like that. But anyways, Norma Salazar, thank you so much for being here with us, Norma. Thank you for all your support. Johnny Gonzalez, muchas gracias a Johnny. Roy Wichgen, he had a lot to say about the veterans as well. Truly a vet full of vet pride. Annette Garcia, hello Annette, and George Vences. And then we have Borao Lopez as well, and Norma, of course, and Luna Slice. Thank you, Luna, for joining us. Patricia Garcia, that is Domingo Elias's mother. And then we have, who else do we have? David Vela. Hello, David. Good evening. Joe Leal, Edward Valdez, and Jaime Aguilar. Who else do you see there, Joe? Anybody else? Juan Antonio Lomas. We're going to be having an interview with Juan Antonio. I need to get a hold of Jay Lomas, by the way, Joe. I've already talked to you.
Definitely, for sure.
Yes, Jay Lomas is on. We'll be having an interview with Jay Lomas soon, as I get to talk to him. I'll get to you, Juan Antonio Lomas, as soon as I get my week going here. After a heavy set, no me queda más los pantalones. Feeling a little stuffed still. Did you get the song?
So let me play this the song from Elias.
Okay, great.
I think you requested this song here, Dina. So let's go ahead and play that song real quick, and we'll close out the show for tonight.
Okay.
Domingo Elias tercero. ¡Uy, uy, uy! Pongan atención, señores, lo que traigo en mi memoria. Pero quiero que la escuchen, una verdadera historia de un soldado del gobierno. Les cuento su trayectoria. Al servicio del gobierno en el conflicto de Irán, explotando una granada, casi lo pudo matar, quedando muy mal herido, ya no pudo caminar. Lo llevan al hospital, con sus piernas no contaba. También un brazo perdió cuando se hallaba en batalla. Mandó una carta a sus padres, con solo un brazo contaba. Queridos padres, les dijo, ya terminé de pelear, ya cumplí con mi gobierno, regreso al fin a mi hogar. Traigo un amigo sin piernas que no puede caminar. Y para mis hermanos veteranos militares, ánimo, no se den por vencido, hay mucha vida por vivir. Sus padres le contestaron, te esperamos, hijo mío. Pero no traigas lisiados, yo me refiero a tu amigo. Es mejor que se lo entregues a una casa de asilo. Él no quiso que sus padres supieran lo sucedido. Y aquel amigo sin piernas se refería a sí mismo, mejor se quitó esta historia es verdadera. Pasó en Estados Unidos. Aquel soldado no quiso vivir siempre en el olvido. Sus padres sufren la pena, hoy se hayan arrepentido.
I like how we ended it with the taps there. And of course, for some of you guys that just tuned in, the song is about a person in the military that lost his legs, and his parents told him that he was going to bring him home. He was talking about himself, and he was going to bring him home, and he said his parents told him not to take him to they didn't want a disabled man at home to take him, and all this time it was him. So yeah, you guys can the song is available on YouTube. Check it out. Listen to the words carefully, and it'll sure touch your heart. Thank you so much to Elias Tercero for joining us tonight. What a blessing with that song.
Yes, it was. So, de parte de Dina Madrid, myself, Joe, muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta noche aquí en Sirius Tejano. Y saludos y muchas gracias a Domingo Elias Tercero por estar con nosotros aquí. And we'll be ready, be tuning in tomorrow. I believe we have Lucky Joe tomorrow as well. So, hasta mañana, si Dios quiere, nos despedimos y pasen